So I suppose the big question we'll be answering here is, one, have I chosen the right colours? And two, are these moulds from Temu any good? Now, hi everyone, I've been promising you bees, haven't I, for ages, so I'm going to do bees. And the first problem I've run into is which colour to use. This is my colour picker for all my mica powders. However, I've bought more since then, but you can see what I've done. I've numbered them all. I think I've decided anyway. Right, so I have got some honey coloured gold for the honeycombs. I have got, this is number 22. It's that one. So I think that'll be for the wings. I've got 2 different shades of gold for the bees and some black. This might also be for the wings. That's number 17. Number 18 is what I don't know what I've done with number 18's thing now. Oh, anyway, yes. So I'm in several minds about the colours. Right, we've got some moulds. These are cheap ones from Temu. They feel pretty decent though, I must admit. So we've got a big honeycomb. That's for making a plaque with, I believe. And it's got some little bees on it. This, as you can see, is a whopping big bee. Bees, honeycombs, got flowers. Oh no, that's more colours, isn't it? Small honeycombs. So we've got lots to play with. I have actually got a pot that has a bee on the top somewhere. Can't find the pot. So we'll be starting with these. And I thought first of all we'd start with these 2. So I suppose the big question we'll be answering here is, one, have I chosen the right colours? And two, are these moulds from Temu any good? Now this is all interesting to those of us in the UK particularly, because Temu have only just arrived in the UK. As I always say, you get what you pay for, so they are varying slightly, and they're nothing like the quality of the beautiful moulds and shapes, or pouring your heart out moulds, or whatever. But for the money, I think these look blimmin' good. So, I think the first thing to do with these is to do the colours that will be in the deeper recesses. And I think, just to make my life easier, we'll do the big one first. I mean, as in the big B. So here we are. I've got some makeup brushes. I've got some makeup applicators as well. I've got some of my Wonder Wipes handy, so I can clean up after myself. And what I want to do here, I think, is get some black in first into the wings. Do I or don't I? You see, what I'd like to do is just get the colour on the top. I'm just thinking out loud. Remember, when you put in mica powder onto a mould, it's what's against the mould itself. What's the first thing against the silicone is what you're going to see. So I'm wondering, do I even need black? I could just leave the black free, can't I? Because the resin will do it. Except where I want a bit of shine on the black. Interesting thoughts. Right, so I think what I'm going to do then is get the, let's get the black in, the pearly colours in here for the wings. And I think for this one I'm going to do the silver. Now this is an iridescent silver. It colour flips like crazy. And I'm going to use the little applicator rather than my brush to put this on, I think, because I want it on the higher surface levels. This is backwards to what I normally do, actually, because I normally put the colour in first and then wipe it away, which in this case would be the black. Just leaving the colour in the veins. But in this case, because the black is going to be the backing, I think I'm going to let the black resin do its job there. So what we're trying to do is just get it on the higher points. Now it doesn't matter if bits of it get into those recesses, because, you know, they're going to be sparkly wings. The black should show through anyway, except where I've got this on properly. So I hope you can see I'm just putting that onto the higher points. Maybe I zoom you in a little bit more. There, is that better? So yeah, you can see this is very textured, so I am just trying to get it onto the raised sections, and it's quite difficult with this one because until you've got the black behind it you can't see it much, so that isn't really helping. But I can report that because the moulds are nice and shiny and it's a reasonably clingy silicone, that the powder is sticking. I have got some moulds that it doesn't stick terribly well to. Typically it's the satin finish ones that are the problem. Now I'm going to put just a tiny bit into here, just a tiny bit towards the top, just trying to give him a bit of 3D. That really is going to be a tiny bit. So I think that's it for the silver. Now I am going to put some black, I think, into his legs anyway, even though the black's going to show through from the resin that goes in the backing, because I just think it might have a little bit more of a quality to it than if I just let the resin do it. It'll have a bit of a shine. You can see it kind of goes a bit more of a silvery effect. It'll be, I'm hoping it'll be like a gunmetal, sort of really dark gunmetal. I think they actually have more brownish coloured legs really, but I think I kind of want the drama of the black and the yellow. The other problem I've got is that the honey will be kind of golden too. And the difficulty there is that is that going to show through with the, you know, is it going to contrast enough with the yellow of the bee? But we'll see. So I'm just slapping this on at the moment, not being overly fussy, because I can go through and wipe some of it away afterwards. Now I'm going to do his eyes in this, just so there's a little bit of a standout from the black resin that'll be coming through from the back. But I am going to leave his head, I think. There we go. So we've got the black in, and you see I've pretty well burnished it onto the surface. I'm not going to worry too much about whether bits of it got onto the wings, because as we said, they're going to be black anyway. Well, have the black coming through the silver. So I just need to get my cloth and wipe away some of the surplus here. So there we go, that's his head cleaned out. Now the recesses where the bee is are quite deep. By the way, excuse me if my talking sounds a little bit funny. I haven't long got back from the dentist. Not the best day to be filming a video, eh? Never mind. There we go. So just wiping the surplus away. And then I think we better get in with the gold next. You see I put a little bit on his tail. I think that's his sting, isn't it? Right then. So where are we? Yes, we're going to take gold, don't we? So I've got two golds here, and both of them look very bright. They're from my old nail art kit. I mean, look at the state of the pots. You can tell how old they are. So I thought best use one of those up. So let's get our bee done next. Get his stripes and things. Now I don't know whether this bit here should be yellow or whether it should be black. No idea. But, and I could have gone and googled it, or gone outside and looked at a bee. Our front garden seems to be attracting bees nicely already, even though there aren't that many flowers out yet. They're already buzzing around my little bee house. Mind you, that's the wrong sort of bees, really. Those are mason bees that go in there. And I don't know whether they're the same as their common honeybees. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a feeling this is going to end up looking a bit more like a wasp because this is a very bright yellow. Anyway, it'll be pretty whatever it turns out like. And as this is the first one, this is largely to experiment with the colours really anyway, isn't it? So I'm going to let the black of the resin do its thing on those other bits. They're recessed, so really this is going to be black as well. You can see the honeycomb pattern there. I just need to colour in here, and I've gone for a more honey coloured gold, but I'm just wondering whether I should put a tiny touch of orange in that. So I'm just going to see if I can find an orangey colour. There we go. Put some into a little pot just to prove you can mix mica powders if you can get them to come out your pot without all coming out at once. I do need quite a bit, so there we are. Now, is that going to be orangey enough? Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, we're good. Yeah, that's brought the gold down just a bit, so it's more of a honey colour. Now I'm going to do this with a brush rather than my applicator because it's a bigger area to go for, and I am going all over it. I'm not worrying about trying not to go down into nooks and crannies. Okay, another thing to report on this mould, this is quite easy to do. Other than I'm getting gold where I don't want to, but don't forget the black will clear that off anyway. Yeah, the shape is making this really quite easy. You can just follow the lines round. Right then, okay, hands up, who spotted? Even on fast forward, who spotted the bit where I went wrong and put gold where I shouldn't? Come on, have you spotted it? I bet you have. Oh, I get carried away, that's the problem. Just going around making sure I've got gold everywhere I do want it, and a good coating. And yeah, this is the bit I went wrong. Now, there's a way back, there is a way back, because I can just wipe it off with my cloth. And there are some bits where I've gone over the edge anyway, so I do need to. And you'll see I've got some bits of gold into the ends of the wings. I decided to just, hey, go with that, why not? So yeah, we might get a bit of gold in there, but whatever's on the mould first is what will come through. So yeah, probably not much will show anyway. So I'm just going to get my little wipe. These are my Wonder wipes that I use a lot. The sort of thing that tradesmen use for cleaning their hands and stuff. And they're really good for things like this. As are baby wipes, you know, I'm sure you've all got your favourites. People are still asking me why I don't just use baby wipes. For anybody who hasn't got that far with watching all my videos, yeah, the smell of them just makes me heave. I'm not fond of babies either, to be fair. I'm a rubbish woman, I really am. Here we go. So just a little bit of touching up where I caught with my cloth there. So there we are. You can tip it up and tap out your surplus, of course. You know, we do that sometimes. To be honest, I don't tend to worry too much because unless it's really excessive, because you just end up with a pretty sparkly back to it, which is quite nice. Because what happens is the surplus mica powder, you see where there's bits loose on the surface? They all just rise to the surface anyway. There you go, look, I told you that would come off easy enough. Now, while we were on fast forward, I've been thinking about the black resin for the back. And I think what I'm going to do is put some black glitter in it, just to give it a little bit of a lift. And the black glitter I've got is very, very fine, so I'm going to go with that as well. So let me get all my gloves sorted, get all PPE'd up, and we'll go in with the resin. Okay, so I've got this mixed up in this little pot here. Could have done with a bigger pot really. I don't think this is going to be enough, so I'll have to do another pot. But unfortunately I've split my big one. Let's push it to one side a bit so that you can see what's going on in the little pot. Just going to put a little drop of pigment. Oh, that's quite a big drop. This is the Vuba Vista Colours. Now, it's very, very pigmented, so that should make it quite a nice dense black. Don't forget, if you're using liquid pigments, then anything more than 10% is going to stop your resin curing. Now, although that was a big blob, it was nowhere near 10%. Now what I'm going to do is pour half of it into another pot so that I can mix a load of glitter in, because clearly this is going to overflow if I try and put glitter in that. So I've got another little pot here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see from my work surface here, I am making a right old mess. Yeah, I'm making a right old mess here. It's gone all over the place, and my lovely new purple mat is not going to be happy. Right, there we go. So I'll split it into two different pots. And I'm going to put a nice dollop of, if I can get the top open with gloves on, here we go. Nice dollop of the black glitter into each. And then I thought I'd put a bit of this. This is called Cirrus, and it's from Glitter Stella, who you may know I use quite a lot of their glitter. She says chucking it all over the worktop. I'm really out of sorts. There we go. So I'm just giving that a good quick stir, get that mixed in. It'll just give it a little bit of sparkle. Not a lot's going to show through the black, I'm sure, but it'll just give it a bit of a lift. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to carry on and pour the rest. So I won't keep recording for that bit, because I'm just going to mix up another load of black and pour it in. And then, really, I think that's about it. I'll see you for the demould. Exciting stuff, eh? See you in a bit. Okay, this has cured surprisingly quickly. I've had still slightly soft, but I've had a go with the mould all the way around, and yeah, it's cured. What's interesting, see how the back is all pulled in, and it's got this weird pulling effect going on all the stars. I'm sure there's a use for that effect, but you know, we'll think about that. Right, here we go. Now remember, this is the first time I've used this mould. I don't normally use the mica powders in such a way that the black from the resin is actually going to form part of the colour. Not on this scale anyway. So let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. Oh, a little bit that's still soft here. That'll settle. That is nothing short of epic. I'm just blown away with that. For anyone who doesn't know, bees are kind of a bit of a symbol for my other half's family. It's a long story, but if there are any of the Duke's family watching, you'll know this range is kind of for you. Now, no one tell Janet. She probably won't see this video. I don't know, she might. She does subscribe, but whether she gets a chance to watch, I don't know. But I'm going to put a hanger on the back of this, and this one's for Janet. Well, thank you ever so much for watching, everyone. Thank you to all the subscribers, thank you to all of those who just watch, and thank you to all those who are joining my channel. Really appreciate your support, and yeah, this is a bit of a special one for me. Take care all, and I'll see you for the next bee thing.